President Trump returned in true resounding form to the podium to address a joint session on Congress, the first of his second term. President Trump laid out his vision for America and what this historic second term is seeking to accomplish. In just 6 weeks, President Trump has accomplished more than most presidents in 100 days, at home and abroad. President Trump rolled out these accomplishments and what's to come, much to the chagrin of every sour-faced Democrat in the chamber. How does this agenda chart the legislative course from the GOP and Congress, and can he get all this done before midterms? Joining us now to break down all of this, a veteran Hill person, Jim Pfaff from the Conservative Caucus, former Chief of Staff to the House Republican Caucus. Great to have you back on. Your reaction to last night's address?
Well, two major areas of consideration for Democrats. First is they haven't gotten over the election. They are quite the petulant children who had their toy taken away from them, and they're not very happy about it. But also is the agenda. This is the second major point. What we learn is their major agenda is threefold. They have three major planks of their platform going into the 2026 elections. The first is allowing men into girls' locker rooms and bathrooms. That's one. Number two is standing up for the federal bureaucrats and making sure the bureaucrats are taken care of. And then three is working hard to keep criminal illegals in the United States. That's their platform right now. And it became very clear last night.
No doubt. And of course, by now, everyone has been parsing and talking about the various things that Trump laid out in this very long speech. But President Trump's core message was shockingly this revolution of common sense. The fact that we would have English as the official language, we would end DEI, we would establish that two genders and only two exist. This is a prioritizing of common sense that, sadly, in this world, is a revolutionary act.
It is. And when you look at the fact that Donald Trump is the one president we've had this century, and I'm including negatively George W. Bush in this calculation, the one president who understood the American vision. Now, unlike George W. Bush, Donald Trump has a Democrat Party. I mean, the Democrat Party was pretty bad in the early part of the century, but the Democrat Party is so off board from the American vision right now. They don't even know what America is anymore or what it looks like. And in fact, those who do, absolutely from a Marxist perspective, want to destroy it. We, though, may be on a path to constitutional government again that truly did make us one of the great world powers in all of human history, because of strong economic growth. And by the way, with that, we had good moral judgment and character because people learned to trust one another and learned that doing good to others is part of what a free market economy brings. And we need to get back to that.
You know, part of President Trump and his mission and his vision's success relies a lot on just exposing this insanity that is hidden behind layers and layers of Washington crap, for lack of a better word. So, you know, when President Trump is doing things like doubling down on DOGE and the necessity for DOGE, and he lays out exactly what our tax dollars have enslaved us to pay for, it's incredible. Like just for a recap, because this was so glorious about last night. Here's his DOGE readoff.
Just listen to some of the appalling waste we have already identified. $22 billion from HHS to provide free housing and cars for illegal aliens. $45 million for diversity, equity, and inclusion scholarships in Burma. $40 million to improve the social and economic inclusion of sedentary migrants. Nobody knows what that is. $8 million to promote LGBTQI+ in the African nation of Lesotho, which nobody has ever heard of.
I just don't imagine being a Democrat right now and saying, I think there's a reason for every single one of these programs, and thinking that the American people are just going to go along with your narrative.
Well, and you brought up appropriately the word slavery as it relates to our money. We really are slaves to Washington, D.C., both from a regulatory perspective and in our money, because you're paying all of your taxes all the way half through the year. Every American is doing that. Don't talk to me about raising taxes on the rich. What about all the taxes on all the rest of us? But this is why Democrats are so freaked out right now. They've helped with the help of some Republicans, I have to tell you. They've done something with the federal government that is astounding. They have made our lives dependent on the federal government. Look at the yelling and screaming over Social Security. Like, there's been no proposal from Donald Trump to get rid of Social Security or modify Social Security. What he has proposed, with the help of DOGE, is to get rid of fraud in Social Security, which will probably save tens of billions of dollars, maybe even $1 trillion. Who knows? But the point being that we are enslaved to a corrupt, pro-corporate, anti-American system that is developed outside of the constitutional construct in Washington, D.C. This is what Americans are frustrated with. I was asked on an interview early today what my perception was about what's happening, what people are thinking around Washington, D.C., and happen to be in Northern Virginia, just over the river right now. Listen, these people, it's not just the Democrats among them. I've even talked to conservatives who work in the federal government who are concerned a little bit about this approach. They're not quite as concerned, but even they are feeling the disruption of this. I think that needs to happen. It's going to be healthy for Americans. It's going to be very challenging for them, but very healthy for Americans.
Jim, in our conversations together, I've learned that we very much stand on the same side of things, and that often includes a bulldozer that just takes it all down. There's so much more that we could break down, but we're all out of time now, so we'll have to visit with you again soon. Jim Pfaff, always a pleasure. Thank you.
Chanel, it's great to be with you every time. Thank you.
Coming up, Mel K joins us for a round of Headline Roulette. Up next.